Fragment 4, Q201, sits in the Shrine of the Book at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. Aramaic, carbon dated to between 200 and 150 BCE. It contains the opening chapters of the Book of Watchers, the oldest section of the Book of Enoch, and it was written before the Roman Empire existed, before the Council of Laodicea banned the text in 364 CE, and before any church authority decided what the reason for human creation was allowed to be. Genesis 1:26 says, God created humans in his image. It does not say why. The verse provides no context for the decision, no account of what preceded it, no explanation of who the plural our refers to. Let us make man in our image. 3 words in the original Hebrew that assume the reader knows who the US is. 3 words that the entire Western theological tradition has spent 2,000 years explaining without fully agreeing on an answer. Enoch provides the answer. The text the church removed in 364 CE is the document that completes what Genesis compressed into a single verse. And what it says about why humans exist is the claim no mainstream creation theology, not Genesis, not the Sumerian accounts, not the Vedic tradition, not any cosmological framework that has survived into the modern world, has ever stated directly. Humans were not the first attempt. We were the replacement. The passage that carries this claim is chapter 15 of the Book of Watchers. God speaks directly to Enoch and instructs him to deliver a message to the Watchers, the beings who had descended from heaven, taken human wives, and produced hybrid offspring. The message is recorded in plain language with no symbolic framing. God addresses the Watchers and says, "You were spiritual, holy, living an eternal life. For this reason I did not arrange wives for you, because the dwelling of the spiritual ones is in heaven." Read that statement carefully. God is not telling the Watchers they sinned by wanting something they were never supposed to want. He is telling them they sinned by wanting something that was designed specifically for a different kind of being. A kind of being that needed wives and children precisely because it was mortal, finite, and would not persist without reproduction. The implication carried in that statement is not subtle. Humans were given wives, given reproduction, given the biological machinery of continuation, because humans were designed to die. The Watchers were designed to live forever. The 2 creations were not the same kind of thing. They were built for different purposes. Dr. George Nicholsberg, whose 2001 Fortress Press commentary on 1st Enoch is the standard scholarly reference in the field, identifies chapter 15 as the theological core of the Watchers' narrative. The passage, he writes, establishes a fundamental distinction between 2 orders of creation, one spiritual and permanent, one physical and mortal. The Watchers violated that distinction not by disobeying a command, but by crossing a boundary between categories of being that were never supposed to interact. They were not punished for rebellion. They were punished for contamination. Subscribe now and turn on the bell before the next section, because what chapter 15 says about where demons came from is the part that the New Testament assumes you already know and never explains. The Nephilim died in the flood. Genesis 6 records their existence in 2 verses and moves on. The flood comes. Everything on the surface is destroyed. The text closes the subject. What Genesis does not record is what happened to the spirits of the Nephilim after their physical bodies were destroyed. Enoch chapter 15 verse 8 records it directly. Now the giants who were born from spirits and flesh will be called evil spirits on the earth. Their physical forms were destroyed in the flood. Their spirits were not. The spirits of hybrid beings, produced when an immortal spiritual creation interfered with a mortal physical one, could not go to the underworld because they were not fully human. They could not return to heaven because they were not fully spiritual. They remained on earth, disembodied, active. The text calls them evil spirits. The New Testament calls them demons. Every exorcism recorded in the Gospels, every reference to unclean spirits, every theological framework Christianity built around spiritual warfare, all of it assumes the existence of beings that Enoch is the only ancient text to provide an origin for. The Church removed Enoch from the canon in 364 CE. It kept the New Testament, which assumes Enoch's demonology, without explaining it. The framework survived. The document that built it was buried. The suppression follows a specific logic. Augustine, writing in the City of God around 410 CE, argued that the Watcher's narrative inverted the proper order of creation. His position was unambiguous. Angels and humans were created simultaneously. No intelligent being existed before Adam. The theological necessity behind that position is the one Enoch makes impossible to sustain. If the Watchers existed before humans, if they were the original intelligent creation given dominion over the earth, then humanity is not God's primary creation. Humans are the revision. Augustine needed humans to be first. Enoch says, we were second. The Council of Laodicea banned the text 11 years before Augustine began writing. The theological infrastructure that needed humans to be the original creation was already in place. Augustine's argument completed what the Council's decision had started. Jerome, compiling the Latin Vulgate around 400 CE, wrote in his preface that Enoch described angelic and human creation in a sequence that diminished human dignity by making humanity a contingency rather than an intention. The word he used was contingency, not a mistranslation, not a misreading, a deliberate choice to frame what Enoch says as theologically unacceptable rather than textually incorrect. Jerome did not argue the text was wrong. He argued it was dangerous. There is a difference. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which never came under Roman authority, kept Enoch in its canon without interruption. When James Bruce brought 3 Ge'ez manuscripts from Axum to Europe in 1773, Oxford scholars who examined them called the creation sequence passages incompatible with received theology in an 1821 review. Not factually wrong, incompatible. The category of rejection was institutional, not evidential. The genetic record entered this conversation in 2018 from a direction nobody anticipated. A team at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig published research on a bone fragment recovered from Denisova Cave in Siberia. Fragment Denisova 11. A bone shard approximately 1 inch long from a long bone, possibly a femur, belonging to an individual who died at least 13 years old. When the team sequenced the DNA, the result was published in Nature in August 2018. The individual's mother was a Neanderthal. Her father was a Denisovan. She was the first confirmed first-generation hybrid between 2 distinct archaic human species ever recovered from the fossil record. The paper's authors, led by Viviane Slon and Svante Pääbo at the Max Planck Institute, noted that Neanderthals and Denisovans were genetically more distant from each other than any 2 populations of modern humans living today. The fact that they produced viable offspring confirmed that interbreeding across species boundaries had occurred repeatedly during a specific window of human prehistory. Subsequent genetic analysis published in Science Advances confirmed that the ancestors of Neanderthals and Denisovans had themselves interbred with a 3rd population, a super-archaic group that had been genetically separate from other humans for approximately 1.2 million years. An unknown species, no fossils identified. known only from its genetic signature in the descendants that survived. Modern humans carry Neanderthal DNA. Certain populations carry Denisovan DNA. The genetic architecture of Homo sapiens contains the residue of interbreeding events between distinct intelligent species across a narrow window of time, followed by a severe population bottleneck, a reduction in genetic diversity consistent with near extinction, and the sudden proliferation of the single surviving lineage. Enoch describes intelligent beings of a different order interbreeding with humans, producing hybrid offspring, followed by a catastrophic reset that destroyed the hybrids and preserved the human lineage. The genetic record shows interbreeding between distinct intelligent species, followed by near extinction and the proliferation of a single surviving lineage. The two accounts use different language because they come from different contexts, separated by thousands of years. The structure they describe is the same. The text does not say humans were created because God wanted companions or because the earth needed caretakers. It says humans were created because the first creation, immortal, spiritual, given dominion before the earth's foundations were laid, failed its assignment so completely that the reset required a different kind of being, one that was mortal, one that reproduced, one that could not accumulate the kind of power the Watchers had accumulated because it would not live long enough to sustain it. That is not the creation story any tradition teaches. It is the one Enoch recorded in plain language in a text that was preserved in 11 copies at Qumran, carried through 17 centuries of suppression in a church in Ethiopia, and confirmed as ancient by carbon dating before the Council of Laodicea's decision could be retroactively justified as reasonable. Fragment 4, Q201, is still in Jerusalem. The Ge'ez manuscripts are still in Axum. Nickelsburg's commentary is still in print. The Max Planck paper is still in Nature. And chapter 15 of the Book of Watchers still says what it has said since it was written, that the spiritual ones were told their dwelling was in heaven, that humans were given what the Watchers wanted because humans were built to die, and that the demons who required exorcism in the Gospels were the disembodied spirits of the generation that resulted when those two categories of being crossed the boundary between them. The next video in this series describes what Enoch says God made in the first creation, the specific abilities the Watchers had, what they were assigned to do, and what exactly they taught humanity that it was never supposed to know. The curriculum is in chapter 8. Every subject has a name attached to it. Subscribe before that video arrives.